Hello, this is Nathan in the house. And first, I have an accent. I lived in some pretty weird place when I was pretty young, so sorry for that. But I'll do my best to make sure you understand what the fuck I'm saying. First, my article is about microstructural and microradiographic qualities of lemon shark enameloid. Oh. So, what's enameloid? You know, shark skin is covered by something we call dermal denticles. And this dermal denticles is coated by a substance we call the enameloid. And this enameloid is also coated the teeth of sharks. So, the scientists are interested in the teeth of enameloid of soft-bone fishes. And they already know that the flower peptide is a mineral. It's the principal substance of enameloid. So this fluoride make sharks avoid from cavities. Cavities is like you eat too much sugar and your teeth will get cavities. So this fluoride is acquired before the teeth into a functional way. And this is the main part of this research, the orientation of fibers and crystallites in the enameloid of sharks. So this paper contains many references from other research. And by studying tissue behavior in polarized light or by X-ray diffraction methods, they find out that two distinct fibers components arranged vertical to each other. But while using electron microscopy and replication procedures, they find out that the crystallites is parallel to the surface of the teeth. So that means it's unidirectional. So this is the creepy part. Why? That may be because these different results was derived by different techniques. Yeah, makes sense. and the replicas only provide the details of the surface, and the polarized light would show a composite of the microstructure. Like it shows the inner part of the enameloid. So this research, the main purpose is to using the techniques, multiple techniques to examine the enameloid of the lemon shark teeth, okay, and to confirm by directed visual observation the microstructure of lemon shark teeth. In previous study, they're using like indirect method to observe the results. So they want to use multiple ways to check it, and also check the mineralization of the lemon shark teeth. So these are materials. Only 5 lemon shark teeth were available. Yes, cool. And for cross and vertical ground section. Ground section means like a thin tissue of the fossil, and thickness ranging from 65 to 100 micrometers. And these are the methods and techniques using in this research: polarized light, fire regions, microradiographic, and electron microscopy. And this is the result of histology. As you can see, E means the enameloid, and D means dentin. Dentin is the inner part of your teeth, and also ejection. So, as you can see, this on the top of the teeth is the thickest part, and go near to the base. Yeah, and this is the result of polarized light. The cytoplasmic projection is like your dentin is still alive while your enamel is dead. So the dentin will extend from the dentin to the enameloid, and this is crucial. Like its radial fibers is vertical to the enameloid surface, and this is the result of fire-bridgant qualities, and these ray lines are on the surface, in the center, and in the inner part of the enameloid. And the y-axis means the absorption, and this means the section mounted in the air, and 1.3 is mounted in the water, and this 1.6 is mounted in the iodide, and the interesting part is the part mounted in the iodide. They show different, it's negative and it's positive there. So this is the microscopy of the enameloid, and this shows the the mineralization means like mineral is like stone or steel, minecraft, and mineralized like became a mine. So this is the outer part of the enameloid, and this is the inner part to the dentin. So after the outer layer was crossed, there was a continuous decreasing, as you can see, to the dentin. The y-axis means the density of the material, and this middle part is the enameloid section, and on the right is the dentin part. So this is the result of electron microscopy. There are two directional orientation of crystal and fibers bundles in the outer enameloid. 1 and 2. And as you can see, the radial groups were less numerous. But this is the middle part and the inner part. The such arrangement is lost as the inner part reached. So the outer part is parallel to the surface, as you can see. But this arrangement is like a mass in the inner part. So the summary is the outer layer of sharp enameloid is more mineralized than the underlying enameloid, with a drop in mineralization as the dentin was reached. And as you can see, the fibers is made of number of smaller units. And the vertical bundles is oriented parallel with the outer surface, but the radial group ran vertical to this bundle of the surface. And in the conclusion, this study confirmed the observation made by previous research, and with visual display by electron microscopy, it supported the explain of the microstructural and of sharp enameloid. And that's it. Thank you for listening.
Hi. Lilian. Repeat her question.
What is lemon shot. And it's a tiny shot. Not clear.
Isn't it a kind of lemon?
No.
太逗了，太逗了。
Ivan,
You show the page that the shark speaks what? So this what is called
Denticles.
so this kind of shell is will grow.
Pardon?
It's a bone or shell.
Yeah, it's sure. Like,
repeat his question.
what the fuck is this? What is the dermal denticles?
Alright.
Shell or in Mandarin fluently now. Yes. Oh, it's skin, but the substance is also coated the teeth.
Alright. Repeat.
Could you please go back to the slide with chart? V shape.
The V shape.
Oh.
Can you explain again why the value decrease when we reach the 1.3?
Oh, this is the target part. You know, like light, when it reach different medium, they diffract, refract, and so the 1.33 is mounted in the water, the refraction index of the water. Cool. So that shows different refraction, different birefringence quality of this mineral. Okay. It's actually pretty hard. Should I explain it?
No. Jerry.
Explain what is EDJ.
Oh,
Repeat.
what is EDJ? And the outer part of your teeth is enamel. Enamel is different with enameloid, so yeah, you can just say it's enamel. And the inner part of your teeth is dentate, so EDJ is the junction, just the side between these two different materials. The side between enameloid and between dentate. Cool.
Lilian.
I want to know what is your purpose of this research?
Oh, this author studied many other research of other factors, and they have different results by different techniques. So he was confused. So he wants to check by using multiple techniques to solve this question.
Okay, Denver first.
You listed 4 methods in your report, and you didn't really explain what is the 4 method means.
Okay, so
can you talk about these 4 methods?
oh damn. Okay. Yeah, the microscopy, and electron microscopy. Okay, that's cool. And radiographic is graphic by radio and in microsites.
Can you provide other explanation or just providing Chinese the translation? I mean, can you explain? All right, so you prepare something, but
Yes, that's actually pretty hard to understand. I think. So yeah, it's a microscope. Yeah, and the birefringence is like when light reach other medium, it's refract. So different medium shows different refraction. So they use this method to distinguish different mirrors. Okay, and the polarized light means polar means like polar bear. That's a mistake. And the horizontal light shows
The native house.
these different results. So yeah, pretty hard.
all right, stop here. Alan.
Sorry.
How do scientists get an enameloid from the shark? Did they kill them or put them out, or
How did
how
they
did
get
they
the teeth? Maybe buy from fishermen. I don't give a fuck.
So first of all, I would like to say I hope to hear clean speech without dirty words. And then second,
I'm fucking nervous.
and then please make it simple. Okay, so first of all, I will actually say, what he presented was the most difficult paper today, and I think he has done a good job considering the difficulty of the paper, because that was really difficult. And so he has tried to present it in a way that at least you feel you learn something instead of a lot of chaotic terms. But still, there's still ways to improve. For example, if I were him, I would definitely start by showing the structure of human teeth. I will put a photo of the structure of human teeth next to a shark teeth, and then introduce the feature that's the focus of the talk, which includes enameloid and also dentin, right? And also the junction between the enameloid and dentin. That will be the key focus, and then you can quickly capture the concept by looking at the comparison between these two types of teeth. That's what I would do. And then there are some words which you spend some time explaining, but like the cavities, so you know whenever you have terms like that, it's easier a picture with 1,000 words. So you put a picture, then we all already know, right?
Cavities.
Well, that's a way, a kind of eye catcher, you know. Okay, and then your introduction. While the first few are nice, and then you start to make it really wordy. So when I look at these slides, I really stop reading. So because that has too many words. So if possible, try to condense. And if you can try to explain, because here at some point you were saying like there are difference in the, this kind of term like fiber component arranged vertical to each other, or like a unidirectional. When you present it in text, it's really difficult for us to understand what you're talking about. So if you can either look for image from the internet, or you can maybe make some easy cartoon yourself, it will be easier for us to understand. Especially when you are talking about the enameloid, maybe you can tell us that this is the crystal structure in enameloid that you're talking about, something like that. And then there's a pronunciation issue, like how do you pronounce? Composite. And then he had a really nice, considering the difficulty of the paper, he had a really nice purpose slide, so which gave us a very clear understanding what the authors wanted to achieve. So this is nice. And also at the end of his conclusion, his conclusion actually nicely echoed his purpose, although I think this is not specific enough. For example, you should say, what are the observations? Please print keywords. What are the observations that's confirmed? And also, I would say with this one is actually not really conclusive. It's just like saying the method works, right? So it's not conclusive at all. So I would prefer that you tell us more about what are the key findings by these methods. Right, and then again, I think like Denver's talk, you guys have this kind of SEM figure, and like my recommendation, I think it's nice that you already make it really large, but it's even better that you can simply print these keywords here. For example, I was really looking for D, where? Here. See? Okay, so you can just print the keywords here, so we don't need to look for D and E. All right, and then I know this one is really difficult, and I'm really surprised that you include this one, because I myself could not understand it at all. Do you actually understand the X and Y axis yourself? Because I don't think you explained this.
The E means extraordinary light, and O means ordinary light. So when
all right, no problem, because the way you explained it is really making it more complicated.
Okay.
So if I want you to go home and think if there are other ways to explain it in an easier way, because I saw that you prepared this. If you really want to explain it, I saw that in your backup slide you have this figure that briefly tell us what is Beer region. And maybe you can, based on that, tell us what this means, if you really want to explain this figure. Otherwise, to me, at this point, even after your presentation, I have no idea what it is about. I think that's the case for most of the audience. All right. But I'm really happy to see that you have simplified such a complicated paper into a relatively understandable talk. So thank you, definitely.